That's a good
You're
take.
Not good, right? Aaron Gordon pulling off.
But that's all good right there.
Pulling off the dunk. Watch it. Style point.
Orlando Magic, playoff team last year, 8 seed at the moment. Aaron Gordon with the best stat line, or a stat line an Orlando Magic player hasn't had since Aaron Aflalo. Different Aaron about 5 years ago. Nice little 32-point night for him. Go get it. One of the best dunkers in basketball.
Pistons and Bucks. Andre Drummond finishing the emphatic one-handed dunk over Giannis.
Go ahead and give Giannis credit for challenging at the rim. I know that's what you want to do.
Hey, listen, man, you win some, you lose some, but you keep your dignity. Giannis went up and said, I don't care, Andre Drummond, you and your 17 rebounds. Get up out of here, but
Andre Drummond embarrassed the Greek Freak like the Greek Freak embarrassed the Knicks earlier this week.
I don't know if that's embarrassing, man. It's just part of the sport.
Let you tell it.
It's like getting pancake blocked. It happens.
Look, college basketball now. Maryland, Notre Dame, Terps guard Aaron Wiggins throwing down his own missed shot there.
Oh, that's great. I didn't realize it was his own miss.
Yeah, to all the young kids out there, when you're playing defense, that's why you box out the shooter, so that doesn't happen.
Oh, and did you see the clock? This is the end of the first half. There's 5 seconds left when he shoots it. Little inbounds play. Oh, I still got time, though. That is a great play.
Nice job done. On to the Lakers now. Second night of a back-to-back, but they apparently didn't get the memo. The one that reminded you you're tired and you're a step slower. The back end of a back-to-back, LA came out firing from start to finish. Both sides of the ball taking out the Utah Jazz, 121-96 for their 10th straight road win. AD pouring in 26 while LeBron added 20. Nick, how wide is the gap now between the Lakers and the rest of the West?
Enormous. The gap between the Lakers and the rest of the West is enormous. The only team that the gap is not enormous between the Lakers and them is the Lakers and the Bucks. And you got the 2 best players in the league, LeBron and Giannis. Both teams are 19-3. Both teams are 3 games up in their respective conferences. Both teams appear to be on a collision course quarter-way through the season to meet in the NBA Finals, which would be a glorious chance, by the way, for Giannis to not only figuratively, but almost literally take the belt from LeBron, or for LeBron to hold him off. But we don't have to go there quite yet. The Lakers went to Denver, a team that going into the game was 8-2 at home with wins over Miami, Philly, Houston, and Boston, and led the final 3 quarters of that game, the entirety except for 19 seconds. Won that game. While it was a close game, the Lakers were in full control. They then the very next night go to Utah. What I consider Canty to be the toughest back-to-back that exists in the NBA. At Denver, at Utah. The altitude of Denver, the fans of Utah, like at Lakers, at Clippers is tougher teams, but there's no travel. You're staying in the same hotel, you're playing in the same building. They go to Utah, a team that was 8-1 at home going into last night with wins over the Clippers, the Sixers, the Bucks.
Good wins.
And they annihilated them. They led for all of the final 3 quarters to the point where LeBron was shoelessly celebrating with a few minutes left in the game because his work here was done. And while the story through the first quarter of the season has been for the Lakers, them being the Lakers again, being the best team in the NBA and LeBron leading the league in assists, what is quickly, I think, going to be the story of the second quarter of the season is that man you saw right there, Anthony Davis, and his dominance on the defensive end to go along with his extraordinary play on the offensive end. There was a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year on the court last night in Rudy Gobert. He didn't look anything close to the Defensive Player of the Year this year. That looked like Anthony Davis.
No, you're absolutely right. And for me, it starts on the defensive end when you look at this Lakers team. If you watched the game last night, I mean, you saw the first few offensive possessions, they looked a little bit out of sorts, but then they picked it up, especially on the defensive end in the second half of that first quarter. And then they go on that 16-4 run that started with that Kyle Kuzma buzzer beater, that 3-pointer at the end of it. And then they ended in ultimately being in the middle of the second quarter. But the biggest thing that I saw last night was Rondo's ability to be able to manage the game.
He was excellent.
Having him as an additional ball handler with LeBron James not having to be the primary ball handler on the court at all times, I think that's going to be huge for LeBron throughout the regular season, but it's also going to lead to a fresher LeBron once we get to the postseason. So having him and his playmaking ability, being able to operate the offense, get the ball 2 guys in their spots on the court, I think that's big. I mean, he finished, 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double.
One rebound. He finished 14, 9, and 12. So one rebound shot.
One rebound shy of a triple-double. So if you're getting that kind of production from Rondo, 32 minutes last night, 25 minutes the night before, I think that's going to lead to a positive result for the Lakers, not only with the regular season in the standings once we get to the postseason, but their ability to actually finish the drill and compete for a championship.
And by the way, Jenna, the Lakers are doing this start with Avery Bradley being injured the last few weeks, one of I consider their most important players because of his ability to guard opposing point guards, and with Kyle Kuzma still not really being himself. No. Kuzma finished 4 of 11 last night, and 2 of those makes were buzzer beaters. Then in the first quarter into the second quarter, he still seems a little out of sorts after missing training camp in the beginning of the season with that injury. I would say Kuzma went into the year their 4th most important player, Avery Bradley their 5th most important player. They've been without either one of them. Very few games where all 5 of their projected best players have been together, and they're still 19 and 3.
How impressed have you been by every guy in this team not named LeBron at this point?
Well, go ahead, please.
No, I've been really impressed, and one of the notes that I made from last night's game is if you have KCP, Kuzma, and Rondo going 7 for 12 from three-point range, then the opposing teams have no shots.
No shot.
I mean, if they have the ability to consistently knock down perimeter shots, that's going to space the floor. That's going to create lanes to get some easy buckets at the rim. So, I mean, you saw with the Lakers' performance last night, they were able to get some scores in transition to get themselves in a rhythm, and that's going to be big. I mean, the Lakers, when they outscore their opponent in transition, they're 12-1 this season.
Wow.
So that's got to be their formula for success. It starts on the defensive end, and there's a reason why the king, LeBron James, is calling Anthony Davis the defensive player of the year, because that's how good AD has been up until this point.
And I'll add one other name, because you and I talked about him before the show. Dwight is playing his role perfectly. Now, he had a 3 last night in garbage time. That's not his role. That was just fun and happy.
They were clowning at that point.
They were exactly right. But Dwight is bringing energy, defense, and rebounding off the bench. And we've talked about whether it's smart or not to play a center alongside Anthony Davis. Is it the best to have Anthony Davis playing the 5? And it probably is long term, but with JaVale giving you a decent few minutes and Dwight giving you legitimate minutes, then all of a sudden it's like, well, let AD do what makes him happy, where you can switch, where you can play the 4, where you can play more out on the perimeter.
The one thing I do like about JaVale being with AD is JaVale will do a lot of the dirty work, the offensive rebounds, second chance points, and you saw that in the game last night.
And one other thing before we go, because I have been, and not to pat myself on the back, but I've been very accurate on predicting the narratives that are coming with this Laker team. Going into the year, I said they're going to get out to a very hot start, and folks will blame the schedule. We saw that immediately. We then started to, and then once they had this back-to-back, I said, if and when they win it, what you're going to start to hear as well, when you really look at it, is the West actually as good as it once was? And you started to hear that yesterday. Here's the next narrative that's coming. I guarantee it. The Lakers shouldn't be trying this hard. Are the Lakers doing themselves a disservice by putting so much energy into the regular season? And what, just so they get to host the LA Clippers, who have their same building in the conference finals? People are grasping, running out of reasons to try to discredit the team with the best player ever and a guy who right now is not only playing like Defensive Player of the Year, but Anthony Davis moving up the MVP rankings also as well, and a team that seemed to be in disarray one off season ago and now has a roster that looks like it's been together for 4 years. And so because of that, people are going to try to find different reasons. And if it's not going to be able to be the record, if it's not going to be the schedule, it's going to be really, would the Lakers be better off load managing rather than, trying to win basketball games? Because there's